Hello students, so we'll go for the next video, mass Baer spectroscopy. Maybe this will be the last video for mass Baer spectroscopy. Here we are completing the mass Baer also. So in the last class we learned regarding the effect electric field gradient. Okay, so one more example we'll take here. So hexacyanoferrate, okay, plus 2 complex. So here iron is in low spin D6 because cyanide is a strong ligand. Now, if you see the spherical nature here, so since it is hexacyano, perfect octahedral structure here, so that's why the spherically symmetry is there here. If you see the ligands, and if you go for electronic symmetry, so this also becomes spherical because all the 6 electrons T2G and EG, you can see all 6 electrons are here. So this is also equally so spherically symmetry. This also is same here. So in this complex, electric field gradient will be 0 here, EFG will be 0. And when this is 0, so do you expect quadruple splitting? So no. So there is no quadruple splitting. For this complex, we are going to get the single peak. So this is how mass Baer is becomes so easy here in identifying the peaks. Okay. Now this is what quadruple splitting. So today we'll go for the next is magnetic splitting, and moreover again here iron and tin. And iron, you know that the ground state I value will be plus or minus half, and excited state I will be 3 by 2. So this is what 3 by 2. Okay, then 4 lines will be there, 3 by 2 plus minus 3 by 2 plus half minus half. So 4 lines will be here in degenerate, and half plus half minus half down ground state. And you are going to observe here single line if electric field gradient is equal to 0. Okay, so if the complex is symmetry, ligand symmetry is there, and even this electronic symmetry is there, then you are going to get a single line here. But if electric field gradient is not equal to 0, then you are going to see that these two are going to split, as in the previous examples you have seen. Plus and minus half will be splitting this way, and plus and minus half will be splitting here this way. And you can see here there is quadruple splitting. That means two lines we are going to get from here to here and here one. So when this is possible, this is possible when electric field gradient is not equal to 0. That means axial symmetry will be there, spherical symmetry is not there. So this is both spherical symmetry will be there. So this is what we learned in the previous videos regarding EFG equal to 0 or not equal to 0. Now in these two cases there was no magnetic field applied, but now when magnetic field is applied, what will happen? You see, this will further split here. So this is what I want to show here. Then selection rule is very much important here. What does the selection rule says? Selection rule says that delta Mi is should be equal to 0 or plus minus 1. So plus 1 or minus 1, or either it should be 0. So now you see, now the same doublet, this iron only. Now how if electric field gradient not equal to 0, how they are splitting here in a two equal energy here, like this plus and minus 3. This further splits into like this, minus 3 by 2 minus half plus 3 by 2 here. And this also further splits like this in field. So when you apply the magnetic field, when you don't apply the magnetic field, this was the case. When you apply the magnetic field, this further splits into like this. And see here, now selection rule, you apply the selection rule here, that is what delta Mi is equal to 0 or plus or minus 1. If you apply, now you can see here plus half to minus half like this. That means plus half minus of minus half like this. Okay, so one selection rule is applied here, yes, definitely. So this one I am going to get the split here, one transition I am going to get, then plus half to minus 3 by 2, yes, definitely. So you can do here plus half minus of plus 3 by 2. So plus half minus 3 by 2 like this. Okay, so that is also possible in this selection rule. So this also is possible transition. Then plus half to plus half, definitely. So again plus half to plus half 1, again it is again it is possible. So that's why how many lines we are going to get? 3 lines here. So this is called magnetic field. Okay, so in electronic field, so here what we got here, one singlet here if electric field gradient is equal to 0, and here not equal to 0, 2 lines we got here in the absence of magnetic field. But when you apply the magnetic field further, so we are going to get 3 lines here. So this is the difference between the electronic as well as the magnetic quadruple splitting, and here it is magnetic splitting. Okay, so this is quadruple splitting, this is magnetic splitting. Okay, so in magnetic splitting this gets further splits, that is what. Okay, and total plus half to minus half, and here 3 is there, then here minus is there. So in minus state also we are going to get like this. So plus 3 I am going to get 3 lines here. Similarly in minus 3 again I am going to get the 3 lines like this. So total how many lines I'm going to get? 6 magnetic lines. This is important here. See here. So here quadruple two lines I'm going to get here, but in magnetic field I'm going to get 6 magnetic, like that is for from plus half to above these 3 lines and minus half to above these 3 lines, satisfying this delta m is equal to 0 plus or minus 1 selection rule. So total 6 lines I'm going to get. This is a difference between the quadruple splitting and magnetic splitting. Okay, so in general how we can term here? So if electric field gradient is equal to 0, the spherical symmetry is there, one line singlet we are going to get. Okay, and if it is not equal to 0, that means axial symmetry will be there, 2 lines I am going to get like this. And if magnetic field is less, then 6 lines I am going to get, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is how the spectra of mass pair we are going to get. Now you think that if we are having the 7 by 2, 5 by 2, okay, so what will happen? 5 by 2 means so 2ni plus 1, 2ni plus 1 formula you write. Excited state is 5 by 2 and the ground state it is 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 means 4 lines definitely, plus 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 plus half minus half, 1 2 3 4 lines I am going to get here, 1 2 3 4, for which for ground state having 3 by 2. Excited state 5 by 2, 5 by 2 means how many? 2n into 5 by 2 plus 1, so it is 5 plus 6 lines. So I am going to get 6 lines here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines. Okay, 5 by 2, so minus 1, 3 by 2, then plus minus 5 by 2 plus minus 3 by 2 plus minus half, that is 6 lines. Okay, so this is what happens here. And when EFG is equal to 0, only single line I am going to get. See here, like this, that's all. When electric field gradient is 0, that is spherical, one line. If it is not 0, definitely again this is going to split now into degeneracy like this, to 2 lines here, plus minus 5 by 2 plus minus 3 by 2 plus minus half. And here down same thing, plus half plus minus half, and here plus minus 3 by 2 like this. Now what is left? What is left now? So now what is left? Now you have to see the selection rule. What does the selection rule say? Mi should be equal to 0 or plus minus 1. Now looking at to this selection rule, you calculate and you can do it like this. Okay, so like this. So this is how you just do it, and satisfying this selection rule, you can see here there is a 5 lines we are going to observe for this excited state 5 by 2 and ground state 3 by 2, excited state 5 by 2 and 3 by 2 I value. So quintet, that is 5. So okay, so more than 2 also is, so only not only quadruple splitting will be there when the ground state is higher. So you can see here quintet state is we have seen here, if EFG is not equal to 0. See, this is one thing very unusual, very interesting here. So only quadruple splitting we thought that, but it's not like that. So when the I value is increased here 5 by 2 in the excited state, so we can see here 5 lines. You can do it as a homework here, plus minus 3 by 2, and you excite it following this selection rule, definitely you will get 5 lines here. So I have done it. So that is what quintet you are going to find it here, not quadruple. Yes, this is what about EFG is equal to 0, EFG not equal to 0. Now what about magnetic field? So when I apply the magnetic field, same thing here, again they further split here. Yes or no? They split to what now? Again they split to plus minus 5 by 2. Okay, okay, then plus minus how? So this 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines, again they split into like this, plus 5 by 2 minus 5 by 2 3 by 2, like this they split. Again here also they split more, and then the transition takes place with like here what we did, magnetic field here. So same thing here also, further they split here in magnetic field when we apply, and again transition will take place following the selection rule, that is 0 plus minus 1, and you are going to see 12 lines is possible. See, okay, same for same excitation 5 by 2 and ground state 3 by 2, excited state 5 by 2, single line for EFG is equal to 0, quintet for EFG not equal to 0. In the presence of magnetic field, 12 lines, see here. So 5 lines and 12 lines you are going to see here. So you can do it as a homework here. So you go for all splitting here and just see, find the selection rule and try to transit one and one. So like this, finding the selection rule, you are going to get 12 lines. Okay, so you can show me as a homework and you can do it, or you can comment me on this doing the lines. This is how about the quadruple splitting as well as magnetic splitting, okay, in Mossbauer spectroscopy. Now if you go for some examples here, so see here Fe NCS twice phenolphthalein complex is there, where Fe plus 2 is a D6 system. So what happens here? So when this is there, so one thing you have to keep in mind is ligand. So NCS is a very type of bidentate ligand, so ambidentate ligand, where it can bind with nitrogen also and sulfur also. Okay, thiocyanate and isothiocyanate. So you can see here these three peaks, 300 Kelvin, 77 Kelvin, and this is somewhat erupt peak we have got 3 peak. We will see that. So what will happen here? See, when NCS it is binding with isothiocyanate, thiocyanate like, so T2G6, because this is the strong ligand. Okay, so strong field ligand, and this is a weak field ligand. This is what happens here. Okay, so T2G6, see here, that means you are, that is EFG is equal to 0 here. Okay, symmetrically bound, but here EG2 is there, so this is not symmetrically bound. When this is weak field SSCN, when it's bound with sulfur, so it is a weak field, that means high spin, so it is T2G4, EG2 is there, see here. Okay, so when this case is there, see the peak here, so it has two very broad here, so here and here it is small, so two peaks it is going to get definitely. Okay, quadruple, so two peak it is going to get, but see here it is very close and it is very far here. Okay, so when that is spherical, this is there, so when spherical field will be there, so you are going to get very far like this. Okay, and when there is non-spherical, so you are going to get close. So this is how. Okay, this is called isomer shift. Okay, this is called your isomer shift. Okay, so depending on the high spin and low spin, so this is shift we can see here, but this is typical three they are giving you. So this is not this one, but two things we can judge it by this nature of the ligand. Okay, similarly, now you can see here a shift in the frequency. Okay, Doppler effect we have seen here. So difference in frequency is equal to frequency given into v by c, velocity by velocity of light. Okay, so delta nu you have to we can calculate here is equal to, this will be given frequency. So what is Doppler effect? So source is there and you are moving the sample here like this. Okay, so positive or negative, and you are calculating calculating the sample here. So this is what Doppler effect. So velocity will be there, they are given 2 mm per second or something, they will give here velocity. Frequency light velocity, you know, this will be given. So if you do this all things, you are going to calculate the difference in the frequency. So this is what formula you have to keep in the mind, for which will help you for solving the problems. Okay, nu into v by c, okay, which is help you, which is depending on the Doppler shift here. Now, some of the elements used in the mass-based spectroscopy is iron 57, antimony 121, iodine 129. This is what. Then here isomer shift depends on what? S electron density. So what we have learned here. Then spin state, high spin and low spin, what we have seen here, NCS, high spin and low spin here. And nature of ligand and electronegativity of the ligand. So these four factors are there where the isomer shift depends on. In that we have learned this S electron, spin state, this one. Now you see nature of ligand also plays very much important here role. Pi acceptor ligands like carbon monoxide and cyanide. See, okay. So what is the specialty of this pi acceptor carbon monoxide? So they are very back donation of the electron density will be more here. So when back donation of electron density increases, what will happen? S electron will increase here. Okay, you know that. Okay, stronger will be bond because of the back. So S electron will increase. So that will decrease what now? Isomer shift. See here. So if S electron is increasing, what will happen? So that will, as per the formula rho we have seen in the last video, so isomer will decrease here. Is it right? So this is what, for example, you can see here these three complexes. So here FeC and pentacyano nitrite. So here NO, nitro. So NO is there, is a very good pi acceptor here. So this is having less shifts here. Okay, why? Because back donation is more. When back donation is more, S electron density is more. When S electron density is more, isomer shift is less here. Followed by what? Cyanides here. This is also a very good pi acceptor. So first this is higher than this if you see the electrochemical series here. So this is ligand series, so this becomes highest than this, and finally you can see here amine is not a very good pi acceptor, that's why this is the least. So this has the highest isomer shift, followed by this, then this has the lowest isomer shift. Why? Because this has the greatest S electron density in this because of back donation. Similarly, electronegativity. So how does the electronegativity affect the isomer shift? So highest the electronegativity, S electron density will be low because it is withdrawing, you know. And when electron density is low, what will be the isomer shift? If it is highest, see here. And that's why Fe2 has the highest isomer shift here. Why? Because fluorine is the highest electronegative in nature and bromine is the least electronegative in nature. That's why it has the lowest isomer shift. So B then followed by FeCl2. So highest the electronegativity, highest the electronegativity, highest the isomer shift will be also highest here. Why? Because X electron density is the lowest. So this is what. Okay, and moreover in high spin and low spin I have said you, it depends on the EG orbital. For example, T2G Eg is there, T2G Eg is there for same thing, NCS and NCS. T2G6 is there, see 1 2 3 4 5 6, this is for this ligand, and it binds from the sulfur, it is high spin 1 2 3 4 5 6, see here. So this is high spin and this is low spin now. Okay, now Eg orbital, if it is in the Eg orbital like this, if electrons in Eg orbital, so they are going to affect for the more shielding here, so they help for the more shielding. So when more shielding is then the effect of S electron will decrease and isomer shift will be more, isomer shift will be more. Okay, so in case of high spin here, so in this case whose isomer shift will more, so this isomer, as I said here, so this isomer shift of this high spin will be higher than the low spin always. Okay, so high spin isomer will be shift delta value will be more than the low spin. Why? Because electron is present in the Eg orbital. What happens when Eg orbital electrons is present? Shielding effect will be more. What happens if shielding effect is more? Yes, electron density decrease. What happens if S electron decrease? More will be the isomer shift. So this is how we can correlate with the with this trend. So hope you understood this all points here. So I have covered everything in this aspect of mass Bayer spectroscopy. So if any problem doubt is there, you too can message me or send me some doubts, or you solve any problems from the books. If you don't understand, you can put it to me. Okay, hope you understood this. So here we complete the mass Bayer spectroscopy. In the next we'll go for nuclear quadruple, that will complete your unit 3. Okay, thank you, have a nice time.